What's going on, everyone? It's Camille Prosperity out of Savannah, Georgia. And in this video, what we're going to do is we are going to talk about, we did another video, right? And we talked about getting your different versions of your name removed from your credit report and why you should only have one version of the name and why you should only sign your name one way. Well, in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the next step with your biographical information, and we're going to talk about why you should not have more than, hold on one second. Oh, I did not even realize that Instagram was not on yet. My apologies. But yeah, what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about why you should remove old addresses and old phone numbers from your credit report too. This is super duper important. I only recently found out this information, but I'm going to share it with you guys now. Again, if you have not requested your 3 credit reports, you should do that. On my YouTube channel, I have the video that shows you how to do that for free every 7 days from annualcreditreport.com. But first, what I want to do, I have to take care of some housekeeping, and I have to shout out the people that are keeping the family going, allowing me to bring the tips and all of the good things that I bring to you on my tech service for free. The people who have donated to pay for that service. Darylyn McHenry, thank you so much. Jacqueline Long, Brandy Holmes, my girl B, David Thomas, Janae. Thank you, Janae Motley, Thomas Jackson, Archie Gill, and Marcella Ingram. I really, really thank all of you. It is always the few who take care of the majority. So all y'all, thank those people too. If you want to donate to the Cash App, what I do is I use that money to pay for the tech service. Right now, we are knocking on 3,000 people. It's not a free service. It's free for you, but it's not free for me. So these people help to keep it running. If you like my tips and tricks, if I've added any value to you and you want to express appreciation, that's the way to do it. My Cash App and Venmo information is below. So let's go ahead and get to it since we got that out of the way. Y'all, you got to pull those reports. You got to put them up side by side, and we're taking care of the name in the other video, right? Now we've got to look at the addresses and the phone numbers. Now, y'all didn't think about this, and I know y'all didn't. I'm going to tell you the reason why you have to do this. We talked about the fact that there are so many different ways. If you guys are paying attention and you're following my videos, I'm building upon the information, okay? So I'm doing it bit by bit so that it's easily digestible to you guys, and hopefully it makes sense. Now, we talked about mix and merge files, right? That's a lot of the credit errors are not your errors. Sometimes they belong to someone else, but because your file has been mixed and merged with someone else's, their information is appearing on your file. How does that happen? We talked about the fact that the credit reporting agencies, remember, we don't call them bureaus, they don't match up everything precisely. It just has to be good enough. Right? We talked about that. So they match up like data points, not your social security number, and they don't make sure that everything is exactly correct. So they're just looking that something is good enough. The more information you have on your file, the higher the more information you have on your file, the more information you're giving them to possibly mismatch with someone else, the higher the probability that there will be errors that appear on your file. I'm sorry, this is going to appear to you guys in like a decent hour, but the real time right now is 2:53 in the morning. So I don't need nobody in my comments talking about speak up, girl. I'm getting a little tongue tied because it's super duper late. Okay. So we want to delete old addresses and old phone numbers. And it wasn't until I heard some examples of where this actually played out in real life that it triggered me to remember, oh my gosh, they're absolutely correct. This can and does happen. So let me just tell you, there is an example of someone who, this was the craziest thing. A woman said that her ex-husband's ex-girlfriend's phone number appeared on her credit file. Did you hear me? Her ex-husband's ex-girlfriend's phone number appeared on her credit file. How did that happen? Well, probably because the ex-husband put the girlfriend as an authorized user on one of his accounts. Once you are on there as an authorized user, you know that, let's say it was Chase. If he has her as an authorized user on, then Chase takes her information, including her phone number. So then now that phone number goes to his file as well, mixed merge. And then because he and the ex-wife probably share the same last name, then it goes over to the ex-wife's file. That's how stuff can translate, y'all. And I know this to be true because my mom and dad got divorced when I was in middle school. And I have come to my mom's house and seen mail in my dad's name. And I'm like, what the heck? He's never lived at this house of hers. But just because I have a very unique, my father's last name is very, very unique. My mom still has that last name. Stuff is still being transferred over. So if you don't think this happens, it absolutely does. And if you think for yourself, have you ever gotten a phone call from somebody and your caller ID read something other than their name and you told them, oh girl, I didn't know this was you because it's reading what? And they're like, what? That's my grandmother or that's my uncle. How did his stuff get on here? That is how that happens. Guys, another thing that is very, very common is if you ever go into litigation or let's say you send a cease and desist and you have legal representation, once you contact those companies and say, don't contact me any further, and your lawyer starts contacting them, there have been instances where a person's lawyer's office or work address appears on their credit file. And it's because, again, the companies are taking the information that they receive and they're attaching it to you, and then it's translating to the credit reporting agencies. So you have to go through your report continuously and clean this stuff up, take this stuff off, contact them, stay on top of them. And it's important because, again, you don't want mixed merged information. Another thing is you don't want, let's say in the case of an address, right? You move, go someplace else. And what happens is a lot of y'all are on paperless billing. So you're getting your statements in the mail. That means you do not remember to call Best Buy, Walmart, Sears, Discover, whoever, and tell them, hey, I did an address change, because it's coming to you electronically. So your mail, think about this. Think about your credit card statement going to a different address. Your previous address. Now, new people done moved in, but your statements are still going there. Think about this. Pre-approval letters. Janelle said, I thought you were going to bed. I was supposed to, but I want to go ahead and capitalize on the little one not being here and me just having this time to concentrate. During the day, I've had a lot of distractions. But, so don't you come on here distracting me. But think about pre-approval letters in your name going to your prior address. Right? My friend just moved. She moved from New York to California. And see, y'all be wondering, how do people have identity theft? I have right now pre-approval letters in the name of someone else that have been coming to me for months. If I were an unscrupulous person, I could open that up and go ahead and get me a card in that person's name. They're pre-approved. And a lot of times the information is already filled out. And a lot of times all you have to do is go online, enter the invitation code, plug in some stuff. Y'all, it's not that hard. So what I'm telling you is that you need to definitely be on top of this stuff. You need to make sure there is only one address on your credit file. There's only one phone number if you only have one phone number. Imagine a debt collector calling your old home phone number, your old cell phone, and getting somebody else and your business being out there. This information that you have is very, very valuable. You really need to be protecting it as much as you can. And trust me, we all can be doing, I'm looking at my notes to make sure I don't miss anything. Yeah, we all can be doing a lot more than what we're currently doing to protect this information. Now, how do you dispute? That's going to be up to you. I shared with you earlier that because of how I posture myself, I can actually do a phone call for a lot of things. I'm not going to say everything because I'm still in the process with some things, but everything I've done up to this point, it hasn't been like here's my round. Don't start thinking to yourself that everything has to be like a round. I gotta have 6 rounds of letters and y'all up here writing Shakespearean letters and stuff. No. Know this stuff well enough that you can call and say, hey, like I said, take your notes, know who you're speaking with, tell them why they need to change it now, make your case. Hey, I'm a single parent. I don't have time to be going back and forth with y'all. You're on notice right now. Oh yeah, by the way, just like you're recording the call, so am I. So this is either going to be an easy peasy breezy customer service call for you, or it's going to be evidence of you guys not complying to my request to correct my data in court. It's going to be that type of call for me. This is, doesn't make me no difference. So I get my things done with a phone call. If you dispute online, I will tell you this. You should do a screen record if you dispute online. If you send a letter in the mail, nobody, like these credit reporting agencies, and guys, all you have to do is go look up cases of people who are suing the credit reporting agencies, and you can see a lot of times they just throw the stuff in the mail. Even when it's certified mail green receipt, they will still lie and be like they ain't got it, even though somebody signed for it. It is the craziest things. They really be out here wilding. So you need to have proof of everything you do. If you submit a dispute online, you need to screen record it. You can use Loom. You can use Zoom. Not because they rhyme either, but seriously, it's something called Loom, Loom. It's something called Zoom. You guys know Zoom. You can use Screencast-O-Matic. You can use whatever. But you need to show that you need to show what you said, the date, the time, the stamp, and it needs to show that, nothing has been altered or modified. That would be your proof if you submit it electronically. Because what happens is a lot of times people don't want to submit stuff because they don't know how to communicate on the phone effectively. So a lot of times if they wait on hold and they get on the line, they feel like, I keep calling and nothing happens. As far as the letters, a lot of times we haven't written a letter in forever, and it's hard for us to get around to writing a letter or dropping it in the mail. However, if it is important enough to you, you will do it. But if you can't, then what a lot of y'all do is y'all just submit online. That's perfectly fine. Just make sure that you screen record, because what you're going to do is you're going to clean up all of your biographical information. And again, this is not legal advice. I'm just simply talking for entertainment purposes. All right. But what I did is I'm cleaning up my biographical information. And then after that, you're going to move on to your accounts, right? I'm going to move into my accounts. And then what we're going to do is establish a pattern. When you can, and that's what, like, when I'm looking at these court cases of people that have gone and sued in the circuit court and the district court and all this other stuff, when they sued the CRAs, when they sued these furnishers, when they sued whoever they needed to sue, sometimes it's one party, sometimes it's multiple parties that are committing violations, right, and reporting this information. When they go on to sue, a lot of times the successful ones have established a pattern of being ignored. They've established a pattern. Look, not only did they ignore me when I said this was not 30 days late or whatever the case may be, but they've been ignoring me from Jump Street. Even with the easy stuff that's not hard to verify, because I'm giving them the information. When it comes to your address, when it comes to your name, when it comes to your phone number, who's the furnisher? You. Who can tell you where you live? What your name is? What your current phone number is? And there is no reason. Some of y'all's credit report look like a dang on resume. And you look at it with pride. Oh, I lived there in college. I lived there in high school. Stop that crap, man. This ain't memory lane. Get that crap off there. All right? Get the crap off of there. Let me go to bed because I'm getting super duper silly. But does this make sense to you? This needs to be done immediately. The biographical information is the easiest information to clean up, to remove, to correct, to modify, and trust me, it all plays together. Again, get off of paperless building, start having stuff have your actual statements, your actual physical paper statements coming to your house. Keep them in a file cabinet. Look at the back of those statements. Let's start getting very familiar with this terminology, cleaning up our information so that we can move to the next step. A lot of y'all are throwing away money with credit repair companies. And even if you get your credit repaired in another 6 to 8 months on average, you're going to have to do it again. 6 months to a year. You're going to have to do it again. So we are learning to do for self. Why? Because that's the best thing we can do for ourselves. You need to know what to say to have them delete. No, you do not, Janelle. I know your mouthpiece. You know how to use it very well. If something is there that's not supposed to be there, right? I mean, I'm not going to pick on you, but I really want you to think about this. If you walked in your house and somebody was in your house, what would you say to them? You'd be like, get out. You're not supposed to be here. They'd be like, nah, I'm just going to stay. I'm just going to hang out. You can't tell me to leave. Yes, I can. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, you could literally say what I just said, right? I actually gave that example earlier in the day. If you think about it, you could literally say what I just said. Hello, thank you for calling TransUnion. This is Erica. Hey, Erica, how you doing? This is Kim. Listen, Erica, just pulled my credit report because you know we're getting them free every 7 days. And I see that it's a lot of addresses on here that do not belong to me. I don't want any pre-approval letters for me getting in the wrong hands, because I'm sure you know, Erica, because you work for TransUnion, that could lead to identity theft. Also, I don't want any high probability of a mixed merge file, because that could also lead to identity theft. So, Erica, here's what I need from you today. I'm going to need you to delete all the addresses except this one from my credit file. I'll hold. Well, ma'am, I can't do that. Okay, Erica, no problem. Get me to the person who can. I'll hold. What do you mean what to say? You say what is the truth. Because I want y'all to really, really get this. A lot of you are asking for templates. Nobody can give you a template. If somebody gives you like a blueprint of what to say, and the reason, and don't play this back and transcribe it, please. I'm not saying you. I'm saying anybody. The minute somebody says, here is what I said that works, and they put it out there, guess what? Everybody does that same exact thing. And trust me, if that's not authentic to you, you're not even going to be able to deliver it like the person who originally said it or wrote it. So it's not going to be as effective. So you say what is in the truth using your own words. We are not going to overcomplicate this. Okay? And you just don't back down. Well, ma'am, you'll need to put that in writing. Well, hold on now. I need you to tell me what law says I need to put that in writing. Because my recollection is that the law says I can actually give you an oral report to have this corrected as well. And I'm going to be honest with you, Erica, as a single parent, it was all I could do to wait on this line to get through to you. I'm trying to correct this as early as possible to prevent fraud. So as far as writing a letter, if you can tell me the law that says the law, not your company policy now, the law that says the only way that you can do that is by writing, then no problem. But I'm going to tell you something, Erica. Just like you're recording the call, I am too. So just be advised now, whatever you say, I'm going to use if and when I have to go to court, because I don't want this to be difficult for me just to make everything right that should have never been wrong in the first place. I had a dang on address from Indiana on my credit file. How? I've never even visited Indiana. So how is there a whole address for Indiana there? Yes, this stuff happens. And God, I mean, there are so many stories because I've listened to so many things and I've read so many. There was literally a guy who called to report to them because his credit file it was reported that he was deceased. And he called to tell them, I'm alive. And do you know, they were like, well, no, we verified that you're deceased. And they're like, what? Like when they went to court, the consumer protection lawyer was like, are y'all telling me that y'all are communicating with him beyond the dead? Like, if my client calls and says he's alive, how are y'all still going to tell him that y'all verified he was, like, this is the crazy ish that goes on, y'all. And you think, nah, that can't be true. Yeah, it absolutely can be true. Look it up for yourself. There is case upon case upon case upon case of people who have had settlements paid to them because these people out here just wilding. You send in a dispute letter, they say, oh, well, they sent in so many letters, we didn't know what to do. What you mean? They were sending in multiple letters because you didn't do what were in the subsequent letters. What do you mean they sent in so many letters you didn't want to know what to do? Do what the letter said to do. I want y'all to read these cases because they're very entertaining. And I actually did a video showing you how to look up cases. So yeah, it's a racket. Yeah, y'all, this rabbit hole goes very, very deep. But if you take the bits and pieces that I'm giving you in these videos, and please go back on my channel and watch the videos you have not watched, because everything is going to build upon each other. This is free game to help you win in the game of life. Everything is going to build upon each other. But get all variations of your name off of your credit report. All misspellings of your name, only start writing your name one way. Get all the old addresses, all old phone numbers. You have to go back to my YouTube and check them out. Yeah, please do, because this is very, very important, and this stuff does take time. So you want it done as early as possible, because again, before you move on to the next step, this biographical stuff needs to be clean. It really, really does. It's not only a safety and security issue for you, but it's love you for doing this, Kimmy. Oh, thank you, Miss Sharon. All right. But yeah, it's a lot that's wrapped up into this. I think I cover all of my yep. I cover all of the things that I want to say in this video. I hope this helps. Y'all get on that. Remember, you can request a new credit report from each of the 3, not bureaus, we don't call them bureaus, credit reporting agencies, every 7 days from annualcreditreport.com. The video is on my YouTube channel. And yeah, do that. Like this video, please. That helps it rank up so that more people see it. Share, subscribe if you have not already done so. And again, if you want to donate to keep the free information coming on the text list, my Cash App and Venmo are below. All right. Now I really am going to bed. Bye, y'all.